right, welcome everyone. Today we're going to tackle a word, a virtue, that we all think we know inside and out, compassion. But what if I told you that the way we understand it today has lost its original power? We're going to completely redefine it and see how it's not just some passive feeling, but actually the true foundation of justice itself.
So before we dive into that, let's set the stage a bit. Let's look at the classic path to self-mastery. It all starts with a clear intention, right? But an intention is nothing without the effort to back it up and the courage to see it through. That whole process starts to give you real insight, which then sharpens your ability for discernment. Then there's this really beautiful step, wonder, which keeps you open and learning. And all of this culminates in true personal wisdom. It's this amazing journey to figure out what's right for you.
But here's the big question, the real kicker. Is that it? Is achieving personal wisdom the end of the line? Is that enough to really make a difference in the world? Well, the material we're digging into today argues absolutely not. There's something huge, something crucial still missing.
And that missing piece is a concept called merriment, which we usually just translate as compassion. But here's the problem. We've gotten it all mixed up. We've confused this incredibly powerful principle with a much weaker emotion, pity. And in doing that, we've basically stripped compassion of all its real power.
Okay, let's really break this down. On one side, you've got pity. Feeling sorry for someone. It's kind of a top-down thing, a passive feeling. But on the other side is true compassion. Our source defines this as an active principle, the act of giving what is due. It's not about looking down on someone, it's about a relationship between equals, about recognizing a fundamental right.
And this is really the heart of the whole issue, this mistranslation. The moment we reduce compassion to just feeling bad for someone who we see as weak, we lose the active, world-changing force it was always meant to be. It becomes something you just feel, not something you do. So how do we get back to that original, powerful meaning? Well, believe it or not, the answer is hidden right there in the language, in the word's roots. The Arabic root RHM gives us these two incredible metaphors from the natural world that just unlock everything: the womb and the rain. First up, the womb. The Arabic word for it, Rahim, comes from that exact same root. Now you might be thinking, okay, that's weird. Why would a biological organ share a root with the word for compassion? It seems random at first, but the reason is, well, it's profound. Because if you think about it, the womb isn't just a protective bubble. It's a system of perfect balanced exchange. The placenta acts like this incredibly precise regulator. It gives the baby exactly what it needs to grow, no more, no less, and it takes from the mother only what is necessary. It's a living, breathing example of giving what is due. Okay, so that's our first clue. The second one comes from the sky. The word for life-giving rain, Rahmet, also shares that same RHM root. So we've got the womb and now the rain. What's the connection? Well, this illustrates the second part of the principle just perfectly. Rain falls on everything without any discrimination. It waters the soil, the plants, the animals, everyone gets it. It provides this universal resource, and then each living thing takes exactly what it needs to flourish. The rain doesn't judge who's worthy, it just gives everything its rightful share.
So you put those two powerful metaphors together, the womb and the rain, and this new definition just clicks into place. True compassion is not a feeling of pity. It is the active principle of making sure that everyone and everything receives what it is rightfully due. Now, this is a game changer. It means compassion isn't just something you feel for other people. It's a principle you have to apply in three critical dimensions of your life. First, and this is so important, it has to start with yourself. To be truly compassionate means giving yourself your due. That means knowing your limits, not carrying burdens that aren't yours to carry, and respecting your own fundamental rights. Second, you extend that principle to everyone else. It means you see people clearly for who they are, you respect their capacities without demanding more than they can give, and you honor their inherent right to be. You give them their due. And finally, this compassion applies to the whole world, to nature, to society, all the systems we're a part of. It's about seeing that intricate balance of the whole and understanding your role in helping maintain it, by giving every single part of that system its due.
And this is where we get to the most powerful conclusion of all. This is why redefining compassion matters so much to every single one of us. Because this active, engaged form of compassion isn't just a nice personal virtue. It is the absolute bedrock of a functioning, healthy society.
You see, the word for justice, adalet, isn't described as some separate idea. It's the direct result of this principle. Justice is what happens when a whole society learns how to practice this kind of compassion. To put it really simply,
Justice is just the structured, societal, systemic application of true compassion. A just society isn't necessarily one that punishes the hardest, but one that is expertly built around this one principle, giving every single person their due.
So the ultimate takeaway, the thing to really hold on to, is this. We all think of justice as the foundation of civilization, and that's true, but justice itself needs a foundation to grow from. And that fertile soil, that essential ground, is compassion, this active, demanding, and world-building principle of giving everything its due. So I want to leave you with this to think about. When you look at your life through this new lens, who, or maybe what, is waiting for you to practice true compassion? Who in your life, and let's start with yourself, is waiting for you to give them their due?